Welcome to episode 109 of the Often Be podcast. I'm your host, Clint. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and suck some titties. And, so earlier, I was at the lovely grocery store, Kroger. In case anyone gave a fuck, but you could probably put two and two together. And it's getting a few things, but most importantly, I was getting shampoo for these lovely locks of hair because I felt locked out of heaven. And look, prices for shampoo and body wash are pretty weird. It's pretty kind of absurd and overpriced when you really think about it, but whatever, not the point here. So I was looking at some shampoo. I always like to mix it up. Head and Shoulders, Axe, fucking Old Spice. Basically a mixture between the three. Sometimes go cheap, go the Suave, Rico, Uncle Rico. Yeah. But speaking of, I'm looking over, buy the shampoo. They only have like one small area for us men, and the girls get like 2.5 aisles of, oh, do you have this type of hair? Do you want this type of sea salt in your shit? And we just get half of a third of a section of like, hey, you got 3 different Old Spices, 4 different Axes, and then you could get your expensive lumberjack, fucking redwood Harry Styles. Not Harry Styles, One Direct, but actually it's called Harry, and it's like $8.99, but whatever. And then, if you ever pay close attention to labels, you'll start thinking like, do they really think we're that fucking dumb? And I felt triggered. I gotta admit, I felt, wow, they must really think I'm that stupid, as LMI would say. Do you really think I'm that stupid? It's funny how all of the end of, is it LMA or LMI? I've been tripping. At the end of every one of her songs, she does like a 10-minute little monologue. Do you really think I'm that stupid? I didn't know she was British. But anyways, back to the shampoo. It's a sham, and it's poo-poo. Had to do it. But yeah, on the label, it was Axe. I remember that. It was a body wash, but not just any body wash. It was face and body wash. First of all, anything that goes in my body, lathered up, I'm going to assume can go on my face. Because last time I checked, my face is a part of my body. And when I'm talking body, Jesus. But yeah, when did the face become separated from the body? Now look, I understand there's face creams and stuff like that, but you know what? If you put face cream on your arms aren't going to deteriorate or get some crazy rash, okay? So it got me to thinking, are there really body washes that you can't put on your face? And should we just always assume that just because it's a body wash, in quote, doesn't mean you should put it on your face? I don't know about you guys. And then, if you're one of those people that are like so delicate and so intrinsic of the type of shit you put in your body because you care about every little ingredient, all of a sudden you care about some red, yellow tin dye in your body wash, but you drink fucking soda. Weird as fuck, but okay. It's funny what we choose the line, the draw of what's important to us, and I'm not going to buy this $6 body wash. I will pay $15 because I know this is better for my skin. It's like, I don't know. You still smell pretty below average. You still reek of bitchiness. But it's fascinating to me. Like, one, does that mean when it's the body wash, and does that mean that it doesn't always go on your face? For one. Two, how fucking stupid. No, hold on, let me rephrase that. Sorry, I'm a little slow right now. But why? Like, you can't, I'm sorry, look. You can't shop at a Walmart or Kroger, these department grocery stores, and have standards. All right, you can't sit here and be like, I'm going to get make sure I'm going to get all natural oils and all natural this. It's like, look, man, you shopped at Kroger, you threw your morals of what's in your body wash and shampoo out of the window. And it's the same when you pay like $12 for shampoo, which I guess if you're talking about keeping your hair good and shit, maybe there's something I don't get, but I don't know. My hair has always been fine. My scalp has always been scalpable, whatever the fuck that means. I've never had dandruff. I don't think I've ever had lice. But you can't shop at the Kroger for shampoo and start having these crazy standards of, well, this one has this. It's like, look, you're at Kroger. You want that? Order online. All right. I don't know what to tell you. But it's so fucking like, yeah, did you think I was not going to scrub my face? And honestly, I don't think most people really put body wash on their face like that. Like, that's a weird process. Like, sometimes at the end, if you have a little left on the loof, you stay aloof and just, get on the cheeks a little bit. Well, that's kind of weird because you're probably rubbing one cheek and then 28 seconds later, get in the others. But those are the same dudes that like, I'm not putting my mouth down there. Once it's like, yeah, dude, 8 dudes have already been in there. It's like, it's okay. You don't have to be a clean freak. Be a nasty one, as they say. But then, I'm not putting those in my face. I was on my ass cheeks. It's like, all right, dude. Whatever helps you sleep at night. But yeah, body wash and face wash. Apparently, got to keep them separated. Hey, talk about an offspring of choices there. But yeah. Oh, by the way, it is 10:05 p.m. February 9th, recording this, in case anyone needs to know the time of day I do this shit, which is all over the place. Kind of like Luke Holmes, doing this all over again, because when it rains, you're just poor. When it rains, you're just poor, okay? You know who likes rain? Actually, when you think about it, people that like rain, me included, poor people. We love it. I've never heard like I never heard like a person who lives in an $800,000 house like, thank God it's a rainy day today. Oh, it's such a beautiful. Who likes beautiful sights? Poor people. Because it's for us, it's just it's a sight to remember. I think poor people like photographs, like Nickelback. By the way, been on a Nickelback binge recently. I know you're thinking, oh, wow, that's too bad for you. But it's not too late. Too bad. So wrong. But yeah, maybe someday you'll come around. I don't know. When I listen, I'm just feeling way too damn good. Oh, Jesus. But you know what? I guess that's why I've never made it as a wise man. Couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Now we're back to the show. Feeling like back to the essence of what the show's all about. Nothingness. But yeah, when you think about poor people, we love rain. We love the sights. We love things that are just, oh my God, just this feeling of nostalgia. Or when you think of rain, you just think of, I just want to lay in bed and have an excuse to be a lazy fuck all day. I know that's what I think of. It's like, I don't want to drive. It's wet outside. It's my day off. I just want to lay in bed, watch Netflix, have my booty rub. Well, not my booty rub, but you get the Instagram post I'm making here. I just want my booty rub, eat chicken tenders, swallow a Slurpee, and just get just get beaten, you know? Just feel alive, you know? On this rainy, cozy day, and I just want someone for dinner, make me some beautiful white pasta with some shrimp scallops, nothing fancy. And then for dessert, he drives 45 minutes to Cheesecake Factory and gets me a precisely sized slice of cheesecake. I hope he drives 45 minutes just to get me one slice of cheesecake. Not a full thing of cheesecake. Now make the trip kind of worthwhile. You know, you don't have to worry about getting dripped or getting dripped. You don't have to worry about getting gypped when you get the whole cake. It's like, well, if you get gypped, you know, that's a oval circular issue. That's pre-bake. That's, hey man, woo, we're cutting back. Not like, we're gonna gyp this guy and then this guy reaps the benefit. Instead of getting 16 slices of the cake, we could get 18 to 19 and get an extra $20 a cake. That's called net profit, baby. But yeah, it's like, nah, not, hey, how about I just pick up dinner and bring it back though? Nah, just one slice of cheesecake. Because when you're willing to go that far for something so small, it shows me a lot about you. It's like, yeah, it also makes me feel a lot about myself, and it's not great. Gosh. But yeah, anyways, back to the story. But yeah, I believe things like rain, like rainy, cloudy days, random snow days when there's not a lot of snow days there. I think that's a little bit different. But like things that happen pretty often, and are like sunsets, or like the beautiful, or like the half moon shit. It's like it happens once a month. All right, like it's not that damn special. Rain happens 4 days a month, approximately, probably more. It varies. Sometimes you go through streaks where it's like an 8-game hitting streak, and other times it's Chris Davis over 58 streak. Like, holy shit, man, skin's getting a little crusty. There's just, I think, and by the way, I'm not saying being poor is bad, because I am part of the poor people community. Technically, I don't feel poor, but reality is, you look back and like, if I was like on my own, which kind of am, but not really, if you're being honest, like, but if I was like completely just like dropped off in the middle somewhere and be like, go get it, Tiger, I'd be like, oh shit, I can't afford shit. See, you think you can afford a lot when you're in kind of comfortable positions, but when you're really just like thrown out on a raft boat like Castaway, or like Life of Pi, which, by the way, what kind of genius would make a movie about a tiger being on a small boat with a kid? Like, you really think that tiger's not going to eat that kid when they're stranded? By the way, never saw the movie, but based off, if you make an hour 40 minute, I'm going to assume the tiger didn't eat the kid. Otherwise, why would it be rated PG? Just a thought. So I didn't need to see the movie. I know he didn't eat the kid. But realistically, come on. Oh, but it's for this? Yeah, whatever the fuck. Sound like just like a cheap movie they can make, but make enough profit, which, hey, it's called net profit, baby. It's just a little bit, like rainy days, sunsets. It's the moments in life that are free, right? It's like, yeah, but in order to get to those moments to see it, you had to drive 40 miles as gas money. You probably picked up something for lunch. It wasn't really free. Like, life's not a Mastercard commercial. It's priceless. I mean, you may use Mastercard and, see, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of, the old, you don't really see a whole lot of credit card commercials. But back in the day when it was like Capital One, Mastercard, American Express type of shit, man, like, they were so good with the commercials. And obviously, I think credit cards for the most parts are really a scam. I really feel like you can survive and get everything you could possibly want in this world if you just make a lot of fucking money, which is typically the answer to everything. Hey, just make a lot of fucking money and you'll be fine. A lot of your problems go away when you make a lot of fucking money. Not all of them, But damn, a good portion will. But just because you don't have money either doesn't mean all your problems are really a problem to begin with. Ooh, it's on your head. Anyways, but these commercials were mastermind. They're saying things like priceless. It's like, really? Okay, Mastercard. If everything is so priceless, how come there's a price of interest attached to everything? Huh? There's interest in loans, which is basically, a credit card is basically like, all right, I'm going to assume, like most people use credit cards because they can afford, but they're trying to build credit, or it's a little bit more than they would want to pay at that particular time. They feel more comfortable in the couple weeks of making sure they have X amount extra in their account and feeling more comfortable and pay it off in 2 weeks, and all is fair in love and war. But of course, there's typically what happens is people that, oh, you sign up for a credit card or you sign up for a financing plan, like, a car, just like, financing a car and shit. Probably one of the biggest scams in history, by the way. Part of the scam. They got me. It's one of those things where you can try to sit there and be like, shit, where the fuck was that? Sorry, I'm a little droopy. But you could try to sit there and be like, this makes sense. But when you really think about it, it's like, you probably shouldn't have given me not given me because I seeked out. It's not like you called me and be like, hey, I heard your Pontiac Sunfire engine blew out, so just come by. Like they're not knocking at your door, but hey, we're a big super store of cars. We're typically a go-to place. We're a common place that steal from the young youth. But hey, it's not their fault. The system is, I wouldn't say it's a terrible system, but look, there's flaws to everything. But there's also a lot of good because honestly, without it, there are probably a good portion of people who don't have a way to get to work. So we can bitch about financing. We can bitch about credit cards and stuff. And does it fuck a lot of people over? Yes. But typically it fucks a lot of people over because, financial literacy, not truly understanding it, which probably goes back to schools. But hey, we're not going to dial that information to the public schools. Even private schools, they don't really teach it. A lot of that, I guess, comes from, parents and just observations of things. And look, good credit. Here's obviously this isn't a financial podcast, but newsflash, you can actually build your credit pretty significantly without actually ever using a quote unquote singular credit card to regularly, because you're not really buying things. You're technically just putting something down and then paying it with real money later. So that's a dumb thing. It's like, yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, okay, all this stuff builds this virtual number that means a lot in society. But what if the credit score thing means absolutely nothing one day? Like when you talk about crypto and money, what if it just goes away one day and the credit score is like, hey, all this shit was just bullshit? Credit scores actually don't determine a whole lot about someone. It doesn't actually determine if someone's going to afford some 8 years from now. Like the fact that, and I was listening to something about the mortgage crisis, 2008, the housing crisis. And, obviously it's no secret, but I understand like financing huge amounts. They literally had it where if you just had a decent credit score and you could prove you had X amount in the bank account, you could assign for 106% financing plan, which literally means you finance everything plus the interest potential and all that shit. Basically, you didn't have to put a single dollar down on a fucking 6-figure, some 7-figure houses. Exquisite houses. It's like, but here's the thing. And it sucks, but without those opportunities, and obviously not the $600,000. If you could get a $600,000 house, to be honest, you're probably well off in a lot of ways. But let's just say the average person out $250,000, right? More realistic, you can get the thing about it is, realistically, people most time in those houses without financing would never be able to get that house, right? So financing offers this opportunity, but of course, like anything, people are going to capitalize on it, like face and body wash, capitalization. And it's just, it goes to show like, all right, there's pros and cons to everything. And I've come around to at least accepting that financing is not mortgages and shit. It's not the worst thing ever created, because without it, we wouldn't really, a lot of people wouldn't have homes. A lot of people wouldn't have cars. A lot of people wouldn't have anything of importance. And credit cards are important because what if you can't pay something? What if you're 2 weeks behind on a check and then boom, $3,000 repair on a house that you own, that mortgage is going to have to be paid plus whatever the fix is, because HOAs are fucking douchebags. And if you don't fix it, we're going to sue you for more money and give you notices to add more bullshit for no reason. And, oh, by the way, just because I'm a douchebag neighbor, all those cars in your driveway, I'm going to, complain about that too. And if you don't, we're going to charge you more on top of these property taxes that are absurd. Fucking douchebags. But yeah. Because, like, they fucking give a fuck what their neighborhood looks like when their whole yard is filled with their dogs shitting all in it with these Santa Claus ho ho ho, whatever the fuck. It's like, bruh, I'll shit in your yard. At least mine will be full formed. But yeah, I'll drop a good shit, you fucking dickwads. I know who you are too. Anyways, got personal. But yeah, it's just, it's okay. Financing, credit cards, I get it, because like, you don't want to rely on credit card for emergencies, but that's why they're there, emergencies. If you got to pay something that's not ideal at the time or a little bit above your budget and you can only pay X amount, but not all of it, right? It's like there's a protection barrier, like, okay, if you do this, we'll be fine. We got you. It's when you don't. Credit card companies are really like the mafia, man. Like, hey, man, you pay it back on time. Your family, we love you. We'll do business with you. Anything you need, we got you, and then some. Yeah, you want to buy your kid a toy Jeep? Fuck it, here. Oh, you paid your mortgage. You know what? Here's an extra couple $100 for the year just for being with us. We're just going to throw money at you, which is probably your own money that we're just giving back to you. But whatever. It's when hey, gotta get an extra week. Oh, you need an extra week. Oh, yeah, about that. Yeah, you know what? We can give you the extra week, but I can't promise that there's going to be a 40% interest hit on it. So that $200 thing, now it's going to be like $360 just to be a pain in the ass. Nothing crazy. But yeah, that's how it works, baby. It's like, well, that seems a little bit like, it doesn't make, it's like if you offer someone money, like a loan, right? It doesn't make sense to offer someone money and be like, I need it back in a week. It's like, obviously, if I'm taking $300 from you, well, but let's say I'll ask someone for $300 and they give me $300. Like, hey, man, like the first, I'm like, you need to give that back in a week or we're going to have a problem. It's like, obviously, if I'm asking you for $300, chances are I'm not going to have your $300 in a week. I hate to break it to you, my friend. It's like, Chandler, you know where I work. You think I'm just gonna like be making $300 just to give back to you when I don't have other shit? And God forbid if something else happens. And by the way, you could say, well, you shouldn't be in that position to begin with. Fine, but it doesn't really help with anything. Now with credit cards, you have 30 days, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna get into the deets, but the credit score thing is so fucking dumb. It is literally just a 3-digit number. Well, if you're I'm going to assume most of you have 3 digits, because if you have 2 digits, hey man, I don't think there's any coming back from that. You might as well just default, bankrupt, call it a day, wrap it up. I don't care. That may be the only case. If you have a double-digit credit score, I don't even know if that's legally possible. I don't know what you would have to do to get, because I feel like at a certain point they would just stop. They would stop giving you things that could potentially drive down your credit score that bad. But like you would need even with Jeff Bezos money, you may have a little trouble with a double-digit credit score or something. But like, hey man, I understand you're like the second wealthiest person like in the history of America. But this credit score thing, man, I do not know if we can trustfully let you finance this $55 million house or this new property for your company that's going to make this city billions over the next decade. So, yeah. But common sense would take over and be like, actually, your credit score, sweep it under the rug. It's not really relevant here. Because the benefits of what's going to happen of approving or letting whatever happen is going to be much more beneficial than being stuck in your ways and stubborn and be like, we would, Mr. Bezos, but the credit score, not feeling it. That way, and by the way, bragging about your credit score is one of the dumb, like literally you're bragging about that. You just care to make optics look better. Because when you really look at what credit score is, it's really just look how much I'm mindful in keeping the optics of this up. It's like, I don't care. Look, you could brag about your 780 credit score. And what is that, like 40 points higher than mine? You're doing all that shit about credit score. But you can't do shit. But what the fuck do I know? So could you imagine going to a restaurant? I call this salad gate. Yes. Could you imagine going to a restaurant and I've always found this weird because this isn't actually a new thing. I've been to restaurants before where, they kind of like, you can only get this if you can't get, you can't get like specials to go. They have to be dine-in when it's like a dine-in real restaurant. Like, oh, you can't get the lunch special for $6.95 when it's typically, $13. And order it and then just take it to go after 2 bites to say you ate it. It's like, nah, I get that. That's not good for business to have people, because then people aren't going to tip. It doesn't help the whole business in general. And I've never understood, like, I'm not a big go-to dine-in restaurants and take it to go, like, from the jump. I'm not, obviously, you eat, you have food, take it home, pay for it. What I'm talking about, where you order it to go, curbside, whatever the fucking proper term is these days. It's so weird. Like I could never go to, me personally, I could never go to a Chili's or a TGI Fridays and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna get these chicken crispers with this corn and this ribeye, some steak fries, and whatever the fuck you would get these days. And you know what? To go. It's like certain things shouldn't be eaten to go. All right? Like getting a steak to go. Getting a cooked steak delivered to you. Like that in a plastic Waffle House container, essentially. Like, come on. What are we doing here? It's not the same. But anyways, so there's a situation. There's this hibachi place. And typically, I don't like to get too personal stories, but it's a funny one. It's lighthearted, but real. So apparently with this hibachi meal, you can either get a soup or a salad. It's included in this hibachi meal. You get a soup or salad, whatever. So typically, I don't eat soup, but typically get salad. So we got salad, but cool, we got whatever. Then my sister, she was getting a to-go order, right? She wasn't there, school, stuff like that. And I saw on the menu, because my mom was getting, like, I was like, hey, I don't think you can get that salad to go. It says dine in only. She's like, whatever. So she told, like, and then the waitress like, oh, we can't do the salad. We can't include the salad in to go. But we can add the salad to your order and charge you extra. Which is dumb. Because one, it should just be kind of reducedly taken out of the price anyways. But if it's not included into to go, then I'm assuming the reason it's because you're uncomfortable sending lettuce out to go, like, which is weird because you know what? If you go to Taco Mac and get like one of their Southwest or BLTs or their oversized, unhealthy $3,000 calorie fucking salads that is barely a salad at a certain point, and you get it to go, guess what they're going to do? They're going to let you take that $15 salad, eat it to go, and you know what? If you don't eat in time and the lettuce goes bad, that's a you problem. I don't know why the reason you can't take the salad to go. At first I thought like, okay, this is their way of keeping the special in-house. But then when she said, but you can add it, essentially pay an extra $3, I guess, for this small 3 pieces of iceberg lettuce salad. And you can add it and then we'll give it to you. It's like, so why do I have to pay extra for something that's included in the meal to take it to go? When it's either included or not included. You know what? You don't even have to reduce the price that I can't take it. Fine. That's cool. It's not cool, but it's cool, right? But don't say here about, but you can if you want to, throw in a couple bucks and actually pay for it. Like, we're not paying for it when we're there. It's like, yeah, look, some of these like hibachi are like $19-20. We're paying for it in some way or the other. And by the way, bang bang shrimp, can you add a little bang next time to it? All right, I've had bang bang shrimp. Granted, when I did have it, kind of overcooked. The noodles were really what's the word I'm looking for? Not great. Cheesecake Factory. A lot of Cheesecake Factory references. Not only in this episode, but it seems repeated. Seems there's always an experience there. The Cheesecake Factory experience. Who needs a Joe Rogan experience? They're honestly, I could probably just have a podcast like that could go like 1,000 episodes of just Cheesecake Factory experiences, and it would probably be more interesting and more detailed and more hilarious than this podcast. Not that that's saying much, but it's saying something. But yeah. But I was just sitting there like, huh. And I started thinking like, the funniest part though, honestly, is mom texted my sister. My sister was like, what is this? It's like, how can I not get a salad at an hibachi place? This is inhumane, essentially. She basically said, this is a ripoff for a salad that's like, again, 3 pieces of iceberg lettuce, some shaved carrots and shaved purple beets. Cut the beet. And some, watery ginger sauce that tastes good, but it's always unsatisfying. It's always unsatisfying when you actually finish the lettuce and there's just this bowl of liquid, like greenish, reddish sauce at the bottom. And you're like, I kind of want to slurp this like it's some milk at the bottom of a cereal bowl. But I don't really know what's in this ginger sauce, to be honest. But whatever. And by the way, now they're trying to like portion control the yum yum sauce. They used to just bring it out like it was in a soy sauce bottle. And now with soy sauce, they came there with half a fucking thing. Like I've never gone to soy sauce bottle at a restaurant where it wasn't at least 3/4, 75+% full. This one was like 40%. I was like, oh, they're trying to pour. They think I'm just going to drown this bitch. Or I'm going to like pour some in a cup and take it home. It's like, bruh. Not that, it's like, I didn't even use like more than like 4 or 5 droplets. But it's the principle. It's like, oh, we're just shaving. Just trying to fuck the customer in the ass at every turn. And I started thinking, it's like, my sister's over it. It's a ripoff. Then I started coming around like, you know what? I think she's on to something. Not only, it's not a ripoff in the conventional way of the food's not good or without the salad, I'm not paying, $15 or whatever the hell it was for hers, But it is a ripoff in the fact that it's a ripoff in the sense that the only reason why we can't take the salad to go is because we as customers, we just accept that there's these things and we don't question them or we don't challenge them. We just assume like, oh, it must be bad for... Because it's not like, oh, we can't send lettuce, any type of lettuce, into go orders because, of potential hazards or whatever the fuck. Or potential like contaminate or like if salad goes bad and someone gets sick because they don't refrigerate it properly, like because you can't just heat up salad. That's not really how lettuce works. But that's not the case because again, hey, if you just add extra and pay for it, it's like, what do you like? Are you punishing that person for not being there? Sorry, she had something to do. It's like, oh, if you don't eat here, we're going to make you regret not having the dining experience. It's like the dining experience is pretty bland, but I don't care. The food's good. That's all that matters. I don't care. Like I've said, the presentation is whatever. It's bland. You have a bunch of like 23-year-old college kind of graduate girls in there. And, they're cool, but, it's whatever. But I never feel like I never feel like I get extra treatment there. I never feel like I get excessive on the top refills, but they're always nice and generous. But I'm not a nitpicky guy. It's not like they were asking me how. It's not like she went over to asking how my day is and oh my god, it's such a great day on this earth. Even though it sounds corny and cheesy, I always appreciate the effort, even when I don't pay. But yeah. Honestly, when I don't pay, I expect, some reason I grade a little closer in my head of like, are they refilling? Are they being attentive? Are they just disappearing for 35 minutes and coming back like, hey, you ready for the check? So, I can get you the fuck out of here and make my hourly rate, manageable for a living. It's like, look, you're going to make more being at this table for 8 minutes in a total hour and a half span than the average person does working at the job where they're doing something for 60 minutes straight. All right. You've come at this table, refilled our teas 3 or 4 times simultaneously, brought us some non-bang bang shrimp, made our food good, or brought our food out, brought the check. You did your job well. All right. But don't sit here and rush and have some sense of entitlement. And this is where I'm starting to think I'm becoming an old man. I'm starting to sound like a douchebag, but I know what I mean. I mean, like, I respect all waiters and waitresses. But, the more you think about it, man, it's like, it's like if we broke down how many minutes you actually spent in front of our table or working on our order. Like, if we really thought about it, it's no more than like, if you're at a restaurant for an hour, 40 minutes. Because, they come in, they greet you, drop your napkins. What do you like? It takes 20 seconds for everyone to say they want water, sweet tea, or mojito. All right. Go back. All right, I'll be right back with that. That was a total of 20 seconds. They go make your drinks. That's maybe a minute or 2 ordeal if it's not busy. They bring back your drinks. Yeah. All right, you guys ready? Anything out? All right, we'll say at the high, like if you have a group of 6 or 7 people, the ordering process can maybe take 2.5 to 3 minutes at most. Most time everyone knows what they want. It's around the clock. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. All right. You go put the order in. So here's one breakdown. Like they make, and then a couple times get your refills. Very attentive. Very attentive. And it's like, 6 to 7 minutes of actual dealing with me type of work. And you're going to get tipped more than handsomely. But you're going to have the entitlement and the attitude of, oh, Jesus. Not that happened here. But it's like, I think I hate to go the Jeff Bezos route, man, because Jeff Bezos literally views workers and employees as nothing. Like, he literally just looks at it as depreciating assets. I'm not even joking. His words to people, anyone that's worked with them, anyone that's been around them, he literally views employees as people who production will fall off eventually, which is a natural. It's like, yeah, when you're working people 11 hours with no water, yeah, production is going to dip a little, my friend. Dehydration kind of almost kills people. It makes people move around less. You start getting cramps, bad knees, your body breaks down. Yeah, of course production is going to dip. It's like, that's like gaslighting to the highest extent. I don't understand why you can't walk. It's like having drinking water in 14 hours. It's like, and it's like, I'd never drink water. It's like, yeah, okay. Well, you're also on TRT and on a $500 million yacht and paying these bridges, which at least he's paying for it, and paying these bridges to, hey, can you like readjust your whole infrastructure to lift it up? So I don't even think his yacht's that huge, but it's just the style of yacht and the amenities in it. It's like, just to go through here, this bridge that we don't have to go through. Like he can literally go anywhere in the world. I don't even know where this bridge is, but apparently there's a lot of controversy because I believe in like 2014, they already like realigned the bridge and stuff like that. And it's not good to constantly and it's like there's like historic, not content, but there's historical, adage, there's historical things to the bridge that hold meaning to the locals and everything. And this guy's like, yeah, fuck your history, man. Money is history. In case you needed me to remind you, my friend. That's why when people say, oh, money doesn't solve all your problems, like, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, I will say one thing I appreciate about Jeff Bezos, that he doesn't try to relate to us common people. And I appreciate, I really, one of the biggest turnoffs for me is when people try so hard to quote unquote be like us, be normal. Like, you see actors and by the way, if you are normal, you just are. You don't have to go out of your way to talk about, I eat tacos and cheeseburgers. It's like, you just eat them. And you don't eat them for clout. You don't eat them to make you feel like you're one of us. You just do. And I think even Taylor Swift's kind of come around. Like, you know what? I hate to break it. I'm not. Before, the only thing she kind of relates is she always has boyfriend problems. And it comes in her music. But look, man, you see her house in Rhode Island? Yeah, look, I think she's not like the rest of us. She's fine. And having money and having shit doesn't make you not normal necessarily. But I appreciate that Jeff Bezos is like, look, I'm not going to pretend I'm like you. We're not the same, bud. We're not playing on the same field. You lift bridges. I pay them to lift bridges. Okay? Like, but like, you'll have and I don't want to, but you'll have like actors but specifically like, look, I'll just say that, like Jennifer Lawrence, she went through this whole thing for a period of time where she was like, oh my God, I'm so imbalanced. So every time she goes on an Oscars, she trips, quote unquote. And I'm not saying she planned it the first time. I certainly do think the second time. She's had incidents where she trips on the red carpet, trips going up the steps, and then plays this, and then an interview like, I just like cheeseburgers, I just like this, and I'm like, okay, I didn't, I wouldn't have assumed you didn't like cheeseburgers. I wouldn't have assumed you didn't like quesadillas. They start naming basic foods that 98% of people on this earth fucking enjoy, especially Americans. Like, good luck finding a person that doesn't like buns. You're not going to find anyone that doesn't like buns, by the way. But not even meat. Cheese, you got the vegans. Well, they have vegan cheese. There's so many substitutes. Like, even now, even if you want to say the pure vegans and the anti-meat, now they just eat fake meat disguised, even though there's technically still kind of some real meat in there. Beyond our control. Thought I was going to say it. No free sponsors here. Beyond Meat are sponsored today. To above and beyond. Buzz your taste buds light years from now. Make your kid same way you feel. When you eat beyond any of our products, just know that you are beyond taken care of. We go above and beyond all the steroids infused additives that, let's just say, those not so fondly meat distributions do to their meat. Because we are beyond your expectations. Now, here's the thing about our product. Yes, this is pure verbatim of the ad read. This is beyond our what the fuck does that say? Okay. All right. I'm just going to skip that part because apparently beyond, they could make a lot of distribution of very questionable but very good tasting meat, but they can't they didn't take the time to actually, spell check. Hopefully they spell check their packages. Okay. Beyond Meat, a little goes a long way. And, at least that's what I tried to tell her. Speaking of, I guess you could say my meat is beyond Batman and Beyond. Because that was a highly underrated show. But yeah, Beyond. Oh, Jesus. Okay. You know what? You get it, Beyond Meat. Go get it. Go to your local grocery store. It should be by the Shampoo. By the way, if meat is by the Shampoo, I don't know what to trust less, the shampoo or the meat. Think about that. Talk about being out of place. Apparently, we got to keep face and body wash separated, but not face and meat. But okay. But yeah, I appreciate the Jeff Bezos of the world that just like, hey man, you know what? We don't live the same lives. And you know what? That doesn't mean when he sees a common person on the street, he's going to look at them and just ha 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 and just like fucking honey and shrink them with some new technology that he has. Like, but he's like, look, we live different lives. I can do different things. I'm a man of power. And for anyone that says it's so wrong what he's doing, guess what, man? If you had his net worth, you would be doing highly questionable, dumb, unremarkable, unscathing, unethical shit as well. I'm not saying him making all these accommodations, even though he is paying for it. Not that makes everything right, but there are a lot of people who would just not and force the city's hand to accommodate them, or they're gonna fuck your city up if they have that much type of say and power in society, which he absolutely could do. He could be, I don't know, wherever the place is, the city or state that this bridge thing is taken up, but I'm pretty sure if he has Amazon distribution centers, he'd be like, oh really? You don't want to lift this bridge? Okay. How about we just close down the Amazon shop, which is about 28% of your economy right now. The highest, your second best is 3%. And all those people just lose jobs and they could say, fuck you. And then they storm your capital, wherever this is, your mayor's office. And then they set your place on fire and they hate you. all because you wouldn't lift a bridge for me. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to avoid all that. I'm just going to pay for it out of pocket. Which, I mean, look, I don't know what really out of pocket means for Jeff Bezos, because I feel like any money is his money. I feel like it's all in pocket. But, you know, I appreciate the fact that, look, man, this dude's on like some steroid TRT. The dude's getting jacked to the gills. Jesus, I felt like I just stole more plates and more dates term. I didn't mean to, but he says it so much. Let's just say he is great. He is getting legitimately jacked. Not like, oh, he's fit for his age. Like, this dude's got like, oh, the body composition. It's impressive. And maybe now that he stepped down from his position, he has more time to do pull-ups. He has more time to go on yachts. And honestly, what are you going to do on a yacht? He probably has a gym in the yacht. If I have a $500 million yacht, I'm having a full-fledged fucking gym. That's better than any Planet Fitness, any LA Fitness you have, any Gold's Gym. He probably has a Gold's Gym in his yacht. I don't even know if all that, well, I don't know. Because if you have a lot of weights and barbells and, you know, metal weights, I doubt trying to sink your yacht. I'm pretty sure having basically huge ass anchors and weight on your yacht is actually good for the yacht. Yeah. And I think the funny part is people automatically assume just because, like, oh, like whoever is the captain of his yacht, like if he's in that thing for months at a time or year round, people probably think like, oh, well, since Jeff Bezos, he probably just gives them like $10 million. Like, nah, he probably knows what the average captain salary for any person of that magnitude with a yacht. He probably knows what he probably even more extreme than us. He probably knows the exact average of what a captain pays, and he's like, all right, you know what? Every couple months, I gave you like a 2% increase. He's probably that precise with it. He's like, dude, you just spent freaking $80 million to lift this bridge, but you can't, you know, give me a couple $100K a year. He's like, nah. And, you know, kind of like with people in your food, you shouldn't fuck with people who are, you know, literally controlling the thing in the biggest body of ocean. Whatever. What the fuck does that mean, Clint? You know, you know, like, you shouldn't piss people off who are in charge of whether you sink or swim. Like, but hey, he's in such good shape. Who knows? He could probably swim like fucking 100 meters. 100 meters isn't that far to swim. But you get the gist. Yeah, I appreciate people who... I hate the term act your wage. I think that's a really... because I don't believe your wage should determine how you speak. I think respect should be pretty universal for the most part. Because there are people who just make a little bit of money and they want to talk down to people actual wages. Like, that person you told actual wage trains MMA and could choke you out and fuck your wife in the ass in front of you. And there's nothing you could do about it. And it had nothing to do with his wage. So I'd be very careful who you tell the actual wage. Because let me tell you, all that wage shit doesn't matter when real life steps in. Because here's a beautiful thing about money. And also the beautiful thing about money is that you can, you know, obviously, like, you can afford security, protection, and shit. And a lot of money can afford you to put yourself in protected environments, not put yourself around dangerous things. But it can't protect you from everything. And real life will set in. And it can also, I mean, honestly, having a lot of money honestly opens you more for a target type of shit. By the way, the CJ McCollum trade to the Pelicans, weirdest fucking trade I've ever seen. I never understand these trade rumors where, like, they've been talking about trading a dude for 4 years. All this build up and everything. Dude's like, actually, I'm pretty happy here. And it's like, wait, you trade me and this is the fucking shit you get back? Jesus, fuck you guys. Like, this is all you got from me? It's like the Blazers made all this build up. When we trade CJ, we're going to get this top 12 player and this and that. It's like you got fucking 7 bench players. 3 of them you're probably going to trade in a week and a bunch of useless draft picks. And you expect Damian Lillard to be like loyal to the soil? That's a term, by the way. I didn't make that up. That's literally a saying I've heard recently. Loyal to the soil. But yeah. It's a dumbass fucking but anyways, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie. Let's see. I was talking about boom, 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 boom. Titty. Oh yeah, act your wage. It's one of the dumbest terms, but there's actually people that think like that. And anyone that says act your wage, if you ever notice a common theme, they are people where if they didn't have their quote unquote wage as the like one of the only qualities they may technically have over you, they would be absolutely bitches and pussies and cunts. Yes, I guess we're going to talk about dudes right now. But by the way, you've never heard a extremely rich person. I know how crazy this is. Like, you know, extremely rich people tell you go fuck yourself. Like, I'm a millionaire, billionaire, whatever the fuck. It's that in-between dude who's not really like, I could retire today for life type of rich at the age of 40, but he's like, oh, I've come across some investments in fucking screwing people over in the housing market. Like, those are the type of people say act your wage. Well, you weren't telling the people you were giving loans to act their wage, because they were way out of their range and wage. It's about waging your bets on that. It's just weird. The term act your wage. I just wish on a wrong day where I'm irritable, I hit my thigh too much on a metal rack and I'm already irritated. I bump my head on something and I wish some dude would come up to me and we get in this idea, hey man, act your wage. You'd be like, first of all, you make $1 more an hour than me. Go fuck yourself. It literally means nothing. And that dollar more you make an hour than me, we work the same amount of hours. So let's just say you make $40 more a week, 160. Child support's $320. Last time I checked, technically, I'm still making more than you. So go fuck yourself. It's just the actual. I just wish, like, that's one of those things. Like, I don't even personally take it because I don't view money and wage as a classification of who someone is top to bottom. Could it say something about them? I mean, if they're one of those people that constantly complain about it, I guess. But I'm not, But act your wage. I just can't wait till those people hit the unemployment line. I'll be like, hey, act your wage. And technically, they can't say shit because at that moment, they're literally getting nothing. So you should act like a scum of the earth, right? And that's where we got to be careful. But obviously, your wage can afford you a lot of things, no pun intended, but all pun intended, that someone who doesn't can. But the problem is when you make that your whole self-identity and you want to demean people who don't quote-unquote make as much as you. When that becomes all you're about, it's like, okay, when we can go by that. But basically what you're saying is you'll suck the dicks of anyone who makes a single dollar more than you. Because that's the classification you have set, right? Anyone that makes more than you can talk down to you. I guess that's why, like, it's really triggering and uncomfortable when you go to, low, people say low income, low skill jobs like fast food or, whatever. And I'm not saying you gotta sit there and pat people on the back all day just for working. It's like, but someone's gotta do them, right? Not everyone can have a master's degree, and if everyone had a master's degree and they're working these low level jobs, I would say that's a problem in society more. Typically your skill set at the end of the day will probably wind up somewhere, I guess. I'm not an expert on that type of shit. But that's why it's really, like, when you see someone who, let's just say, I don't know, like it's, obviously you could have like the doctor. And I'll be honest, like, this is just my personal observation from working at a coffee shop. Not gonna shout them out, Duncan. Back in the day, typically doctors, people that are probably making six figures, obviously, look, you can find exceptions. Look, man, you work at Dunkin' Donuts, man, because you got irritated people. You're dealing with people who actually become kind of coffee addicts, like, and people think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like, but it does when it literally, you start seeing them change. They become like, and honestly, you see a lot of people with like real addictions and shit. Coffee is like a part of that. They kind of offset that shit. So you come across a lot of different people. You want to talk about real melting pot in areas where it's not really melting pot? Go to Dunkin', go to coffee shops where high business on the weekends. You'll see every type of person in the world. Just saying. And probably not different from most jobs where it's customer walk-in type of stuff. But getting to the point, my experience is actually like doctors and nurses and dentists, and even like veterinarians. They're probably not making crazy money, but they're helping. They probably make a decent living. Like they're making, and they're typically one of the more patient. And maybe that comes from their job where you're required to be patient. The skills require that. Now, the thing about it actually makes sense. Like, you're typically doing something like kids. And it's obviously dealing with kids. You have to be patient. Them being frustrated and screaming and yelling. And you're dealing with irritable customers. So there's that kind of compassion thing of understanding. And they treat someone who's making $8, $9, $10 an hour with grace and understanding. As long as, they're being generous. I'm not saying the employees being a douchebag, just sit there and be like, I understand what you're going through. It's like, someone being a douchebag, like, it's kind of okay to kind of be back. Like, or at least be like, hey, can you not take that out on me? I'm just here waiting the order. And I'm always pro defend employee more times than not, but I've even come across it, and because I've worked with like some employees, like they take the day of customers out on a customer who is not their fault. And then it happens vice versa, where customers come in and take shit out on you that have nothing to do with you. That's just kind of the world we live in. It's never going to be perfect, but it's good to understand that. But it'll be like, I don't even want to say specific positions because I don't want to generalize people, but it'll be people that are like, technically in society a level above you, but they're really like one firing away from the job that technically being at your position, and they get the slightest bit of power and they become the biggest ounces of douchebags. Yes, I said ounces because they don't even deserve the biggest pounds. They're just ounces of douchebag. And they become like, oh, like this, that, your job is this. Like they start to, I was like, actually, I'm doing the job of 3 to 4 people right now. You just walk around and look at people and look at a computer to say some shit to see if it looks right. It's weird how like most jobs, the higher position you get of management, it seems, and I know we don't know everything's the point. It just seems like, oh, this is why they try to want you to move up. This is why they try to tell you. They're actually doing you service. Like, hey, the more you move up, the less work you actually do, and you get paid more. So yeah. And it seems like the higher up you get in position, not all, because there's obviously people in position that they work hard and stuff. And it's maybe different. It's stuff you don't see. But in terms of like in the trenches, bro, like on the field, like, it's like, there's this like, I think you become very judgmental of other places when you become, I don't even know, like a manager, assistant manager one place, and you go to another place that not even close to your field requirement, but they're technically below you. And you hold with such stark, like, you hold it with such stark conviction of how, oh, well, if I was here, this wouldn't happen. It's like, actually, you're probably right. This wouldn't happen because no one will work for you because you're an absolute douchebag. And the only reason why people work for you where you work is because, like, hey, the pay is whatever. And you probably don't treat them the way that you would treat people who you feel are below you. So that's why the actual wage thing is always an uncomfortable thing to see. Because it's not even coming from people who would be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, you're not even in a position to tell me to act my wage. You are one like layoff away, because you are one layoff away from being unemployed for 4 months and being right here with me. So, cool your jets. All right. And that is episode 109 of the Off and Beat podcast. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, leave a review, suck some titties. And hopefully you didn't make it to the end here, because I stopped listening after like 32 minutes. That was my tap out. But yeah, have a great day. Whenever this is posted, you'll get it. You get it when you get it. 109. Oh, Jesus. Face and body wash. Like, seriously? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.